everyone, and welcome back to the farm. If you're new here, my name is Nina. I'm a homeschooling, homesteading mom of 4, ages 8 down to 4, and here on my channel we talk all about homeschooling, homesteading, and homemaking. Today's video is going to be all about our homeschooling schedule and a look inside of my homeschooling planner for the 2021-2022 school year. So stick around. Okay, so I have been homeschooling now for 4 years. We're going into our 5th year. I think that's right if I added up. So I started homeschooling when Jameson was in kindergarten full-time. We did a little preschool stuff too, but full-time we started in kindergarten. I have always been a planner person. I love planners. I love kind of writing things down. I know that you can do things digitally now on your phone, but I have always loved having a paper planner. That's just how I am. I love paper planners. And when I started homeschooling, I bought some teacher planners and they just did not work for me. And then I started adding in more kids and then trying to figure out different grade levels and same planners, and it just didn't work. So I finally just made my own one year. And that didn't really work either because I felt like I was trying to reinvent the wheel, and I knew there had to be something out there that was a lot better than what I was using. And I found it, and it is from Nikki at a Farmhouse Full, and she made a homeschool perpetual planner that you download it once and you can use it year after year after year after year, and it will go up, I think, from 1 to 6 kids. So it's a digital download, and she's set it up. It's in Excel so that you could do it digital on the computer if you wanted to, or you can print it out like I do, and you can modify it for the amount of kids that you have. And she has all the things. She gives you a video of how to walk through and use it and print it and set it up. She also shows you how to edit it so that you can fill in your own kids' names or their different curriculums and stuff that are used to autofill through the entire thing. So I am going to go ahead and turn the camera around and show you an inside look at our homeschool planner. And then while I'm doing that, when I get to the page that talks about our homeschool schedule, I will show that and talk to you about our schedule. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so here is the cover of my planner. So like I said, I've made everything myself except for the planning sheets, which we'll see in a minute. I just used cardstock, the front and back cover, and I laminated it. I used my ProClick P50 binder. It is, show you real quick, it is this gadget right here to bind and punch the holes into the planner. I have the biggest ring set that they have. I think this one is supposed to hold 80 something pages. My planner this year is bursting at the seams. I wish they would make bigger rings if they have them. I am not aware of it, but I wish that I could find some. So anyway, the cover, I downloaded a planning pack, I think, off of Teachers Pay Teachers. It's been several years ago. I've been using the same template type planning set for several years now. If I can find it on Teachers Pay Teachers, I'll link it down in the description below. I want to say it was like $20, and then year after year I go in and I use the cover, front and back cover, and some other different things for labeling in it. It's set up for public school teachers, but then that was when I realized that I didn't really like the way that the public school planners were set up, and I didn't need all the forms that they needed, but I like the cover pages. So I picked a U.S. theme this year. We are studying U.S. history with master books. So I picked that theme, and then our verse for the year is going to be Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be terrified. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go, Joshua 1:9. So every year I put a verse on the cover of my planner just to kind of as a verse of focus. So this is last year's that I have right here. We did Proverbs 3:6, in all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. We were doing geography last year, so that's why I have the map. I have a video on last year's walkthrough planner. It's very similar to this year. I did change a few things. I will post that video up in the cards and down in the description below if you would like to check it out. So as I open the front cover here, our first page is our course of study. I got this idea from Kristi Clover at Raising Clovers. I will link her website down below, and she's also on YouTube if you can find her there and go look her up. I don't think she's very active on YouTube anymore, but all of her videos are still there, and this is where I got the idea of this. So it's just basically our goals for our school and each kid as for the new year. And then I list out our curriculum that we're using in here. This is in the front of every year's planner. So I have language arts, math, science, social studies, any fine arts and electives that we are doing is all laid out for all the kids. And any books that we are doing. We do not have to report or show anything in our state, but I do this just in case we ever have to prove what we've done for the kids before they get to high school. High school, we do have to have transcripts, but younger grades, we don't have to have anything else. On the next page is our attendance record. I have in years past done kind of a year at a glance look. I'll show you what that looks like, but I did not do it this year. That I've done that in years past and an attendance sheet, but I'm constantly here. I'm always marking out, scribbling out, because life happens and it gets in the way of school and we have to take a break, and this all usually ends up getting very messy. So I just decided not to do that this year and just do our attendance record. Like I said, we don't have to turn in our attendance, but I just wanted to have this just to be able to track our days. We do have to school for 180 days here in Georgia, so I just like to be able to keep track and make sure that we are getting those allotted days in and doing everything that we need to do. The B's are break days or weeks. So our first day of school is going to be July 19th, which is this coming up Monday. And then you see breaks that I've scheduled in throughout the year. We also have 13 days, I think, that I have not scheduled. So I gave ourselves some wiggle room in there to be able to schedule those out. And I just marked them with these stickers that I have from a planner, an old planner that I have. So I'll put a sticker for each day that we did and count them up here. This idea also came from Kristi at Raising Clovers as well. But I just recreated it and I have it saved on my computer. Just go in and tweak it every year when I am making my planner. The next page over is kind of a weekly schedule. It's just kind of has our routine of where we are and things that we are doing laid out in timestamps. This is very fluid. I have tried to come up with a good way to school multiple kids on multiple grade levels, and it takes the least amount of time, and I just haven't come up with it yet. I still have kids that need my help, even though I have a 4th grader. He is I would say he's behind and how he does things. He still needs my help on a lot of things as far as like reading, and I think a lot of it's just I'm gonna have to force him to do it. So he still needs my help. He still needs me to sit down kind of one-on-one with him, which you kind of need to do anyway, but so that kind of makes it more difficult when I have very young ones that need one-on-one attention as well. So I've tried to lay out our homeschool day to where I go ahead and do school with the younger ones and get them out of the way. And then I can sit down with my older two kind of at the same time and go back and forth. That way I can sit at the table between them and I can go back and forth between what we're working on. If you have seen my homeschool space video, we have a small space. We're going to be all on top of one another this year. And in years past, I was able to pull the ones that were struggling or distracted away. I'm not going to be able to do that this year. So that was another challenge I was going to have as far as have combating disruptions in our school day. And I just don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to. Our younger two don't take naps anymore. That's also been another challenge in our school day as well. I was able to kind of move our school day to where we school during nap time in the afternoon with my older ones, and the younger two don't take naps anymore. So that everybody's up all day long. So we've been faced with a lot of challenges, and so the schedule has hopefully is going to flow well. I have it all laid out on paper. I have it in my head as how it's going to go, but when you add the kids in, it could combust. So I'm not sure how it's going to go, but anyway, I'm going to show you the schedule here, and you can kind of walk you through how our flow of our day. And it says schedule, but I don't necessarily stick by the timestamps except for this one, and I want to be done by that time. So I would like to start our day, everybody be up and dressed, or not up, getting dressed, getting breakfast going at 7 o'clock. So this is kind of our wake up time. My wake up time is going to be before that, just so I can kind of get my day going and get Gage started before the kids. I figure an hour and a half is plenty of time for them to get up, get dressed, get breakfast going, get our morning chores done of feeding animals and doing some cleanup around the house. It probably will not take that long, but I just gave us some cushion because I want us to be able to wrap up our school day before lunch if we can. And then from 8:30 to 10 o'clock, we're going to have our warm-ups and morning basket. I am going to have a video out probably next week or the week following that details everything that is in our morning basket and kind of how we do that. So I expect the kids to be ready for school and sitting on the couch with their morning menus and ready to go at 8:30 at the very latest. If we get started before then, it's a bonus. So in morning time, we're going to do morning menus, Bible, history, and science. I have that laid out, as you'll see on the next page, of how we'll loop through those and on a looping schedule. And then at 10 o'clock, by 10 o'clock, I want us to have started our individual subjects. I haven't quite figured out what's going to happen with when I'm working with the younger ones. Are the older ones going to be doing some individual work that they can do by themselves, or are they going to be having free time, or what are they going to do? I'm not quite sure. That's just going to be a kind of trial and error, figure out how it's going to work as we go. But I'm going to start with our youngest. Go ahead and get him schooled, get him out of the way. That way he is least likely to be disruptive, and he can be dismissed and go off and to go play with his stuff in his cart, or either go play in his room. So we will have stepping stones or Simply K. We're starting with stepping stones and finishing that up. If you saw our curriculum video, you already know that. And then we're going to move on to Simply K, and then he has math lessons as well. That should take him 20, I had allotted 20 minutes. It should not take that long. Probably 15 at the max. Amelia, who is in first grade, she has her Simply K that she's finishing up. Then she'll go on to Foundations Phonics. She has Explode the Code, and she has math lessons. That should take her, I allotted 35 minutes. That should take her anywhere from 20 to 35 minutes, just depending on how things are going for the day. Jameson and Liliana are going to work side by side with me in between them for their individual subjects. Jameson is a little behind on his grade level. Liliana is a little ahead. So I'm not putting them together in the curriculum that they are doing, but we're going to do it at the same time. That way, if they need my help, need me to read things, I can kind of sit between them and go back and forth at the table. So we're going to have math lessons. language lessons, explode the code, which they mostly can do this completely by themselves. So I may have them do explode the code up here when the younger two are working with me individually, because most of the time they can do that by themselves. We have new this year is BJU spelling, so we are going to do that together. And then they're going to do 20 minutes of silent reading. That may be also something that gets done up here while I'm working with the younger two. I just have it under there individually. When it gets done, I really don't care, just as long as it's all done. I want to break by 11:30 for lunch, give them an hour to an hour and a half for free time, just to kind of unwrap for the day. And then if needed, I've allotted an hour in the afternoon for us to come back and wrap anything up for the older two. I expect the younger two to be completely done with school, but if the older two need to do some things after lunch, we can do that, and then we can move on with our day and get to extracurricular activities that we need to do. Now this schedule is not going to happen every day. This is just kind of the average schedule. There are days where we're going to be gone in the morning. There are days where we're going to be gone right after lunch. That the schedule may have to change and tweak a little bit, but the average day, this is what our routine is going to look like for the most part. Our next page in the schedule and my planner is my morning time plan. So that is going to be what we do first thing. So we have morning menus. We have morning exercises for all the year. Sing a song of seasoned nature poems, master book, morning Bible bundle, and then our chapter book read aloud. It will happen every single day. Then we'll loop through these right here. So we'll do history 2 days a week. We'll do science 2 days a week. We'll do nature study every other Friday, and then we'll have a fun Friday, which is games and sensory activities, or a park day when the weather's nice, or whatever else we want to do every other Friday as well. And so that when we have these fun Fridays, we probably will not, I will make sure that they have already done all of their individual work for that day, the day before. That way, all we have to do that day is Fun Friday. So, and all of this. I have the plan for the elementary morning basket. I printed this off the Master Book website, so it just lays out all the books that we need to use, the pages that we need to read, and what we need to do there. The next thing I have is the America Story 1 assignment sheet, and then I also have our science assignment sheets in there as well. We're finishing up life science, and then we're moving into heaven and earth, God's design. So whenever we move with that, I'll put that in here. Excuse me. Here are my stickers for my attendance sheet, and then I put in these pocket dividers. I just cut the tabs off the side. They originally came with tabs, but I cut them off. And I like the fact that they have the pockets that I can store different things and papers that I need in these, and then it keeps everything separate as well. I like this a lot better than just putting in extra cardstock to divide up papers. But anyway, moving on. I have a 2021-2022 calendar. I just printed this off the internet. I could not find an academic one that didn't already have like school days highlighted and all the stuff on it. I probably could have made my own, but I didn't have the time nor the patience to sit down and do it. But here I just want to be able to kind of highlight when our school year is, and just kind of have an overall look at the beginning of the year, and just how when days come up and what we're going to do and all of that stuff. I haven't marked anything on here. Okay, here is the meat of my planner. These are the pages that I was talking about that came from Nikki out of Farmhouse Full. She developed this perpetual homeschool planner, and you can add anywhere from 1 to 6 kids. It's editable, so you could type in these boxes if you wanted to. I have chosen just to print out one weekly plan over and over again for 36 weeks. You could do this digitally on the computer if you wanted to, and not print it out, or you could go ahead and fill in things on the computer and type it in and then print it out for each week if you plan ahead. But I have found it's best just to print the blank sheets and sit down on Sunday or as we go, day by day by day, and write down what we've done. Not necessarily plan and go, this is what we're going to do, but write down what we've done just to kind of keep track of the things that we do, because we don't do everything in every curriculum. And Master Books has done a really good job of laying out when things need to be done. But like this science is only laid out for 3 days. We're going to do it for 2 days. So we're going to combine things. So I like to be able to come over here and write that down here just to keep track of when things were done. This also has room for independent reading. So this would be the silent reading. I just left the pages in for Amelia and Ben. They most likely will not do this. There's a section for notes that I put in. And I have tweaked this a little bit from the way that she originally had things labeled out, to make it flow better for our family. So that was another good thing that I like about this. I found the layout. I found a plan that works for us. And then I can just keep using it over and over. I don't have to go buy this. I don't have to go buy this every year again and again and again. It's on my computer. I just print it out. So it's 36, 40 pieces of paper. It's not that big of a deal. And then I have our family read alouds to write down there, any art or music study. Here, Bible section for Bible, history, science, and then their individual subjects there. So I really like this. Like I said, I have one for every week that we school. That's 36 weeks. I've already gone in and filled that out. And then we get into the individual kids stuff. So I have a divider for each of the kids. They are color coded in their color of blue, pink, purple, and green. So in this section, all I've done is put any scope and sequence and lesson plans for their individual subjects. So this is math. And then I have one for their language and one for spelling and all of that. And the reason why I do this is because I don't always keep the curriculums. I will sell the curriculums if we're done with them. I don't always keep the workbooks, but I want to be able to go back and prove what we've done. I keep samples of their work, but I don't keep the full book to have that scope and sequence with. Our curriculum allows me to make copies of their book, as long as it's kept within our family. So each kid has one of these for the year of what they're going to do. And then I have space back here where I can put any papers that I need to for each child individually here. So each kid has a section. And then back here in the back is just kind of a miscellaneous section. This is where I have our state's requirements for homeschool. And then I will also put in some pages for planning of next year curriculum we're going to use. I have passwords written down back here and all kind of things. So I like to have everything kind of in one spot where it can be easy accessible, but it's not in my personal planner. I tried that one year. It did not work. Where like I had kept appointments and all that stuff. It didn't work. So I needed something separate from homeschool, but I didn't need all the forms and all kind of stuff. I kind of knew what I wanted and what I needed. And so I felt like with buying a ready-made planner, I was constantly having to like X out sheets I felt like I only used half the planner. So I feel like this gets me the biggest bang for my buck. And so I really like it. If I can find the front, here we are. I really like it. Like I said, this year it is busting at the seams. I have really packed it full, but when you have 4 kids, it can be, I'm sure I could probably, but the other thing that I like about it is I use these ProClick binds and they are openable. So I can open up, and if I think of something, oh man, I need to add this, or I need to change something, or I need to edit, I can take it apart and put it back together. I can add and take out sheets without having to basically tear apart a pretty planner that I just bought. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today for our video as I gave you a rundown of my homeschool planner for the 2021-2022 school year and gave you a look inside and went over our schedule. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I hope it was helpful for you. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe so that you can stick around and we can get to know you a little bit better down in the comments as well. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. And if you're a homeschooler, happy homeschools planning. It's that time of year to go back to school. So I hope you guys are all doing well, and we'll catch you in another video very soon. Bye, guys.